You know, we may be into a new calendar year, but the need is still great. The Maryland Food Bank still operating at 2020 levels to support some families still struggling in the pandemic, Jamie.
And you and I know Carmen well. He's the CEO of the food bank, and he believes that they have to spend tens of millions of dollars more once again just to make sure that nobody goes hungry again in 2021. WMAR 2 News' Megan Knight is on our story here tonight. Megan.
When we last came to the Maryland Food Bank's marketplace in May of 2020, it was a flurry of activity with reps from various organizations coming to pick up their food orders and shop for a little extra. Today, the marketplace is much quieter, but no less busy. They since streamlined the process so fewer people are inside at one time, but there is still a steady flow of cars parked outside waiting to be filled with food.
We would average 180, 250 a day. The day the pandemic showed up, I think our first day we served 350, and I think our highest day was 425.
Steve Kahn of Bread of Life Soup Kitchen in Southwest Baltimore says they're still seeing higher than usual numbers since the start of the pandemic.
It hasn't slowed down, which has been very wearing on the volunteers and also the staff, but that's okay. It's worth it all. It really is.
The numbers have really grown. We've had as many as about 60 families in a line, in one day.
And a similar story at the Grace AME Church in Catonsville and its Women's Missionary Outreach Group. Vivian Watson says the food bank is vital to keeping their pantry stocked.
The food bank is the top of the list, really, as far as for helping us out and looking out for the people. And they've really been gracious to us.
The Maryland Food Bank's mission remains the same, to make sure no one goes hungry. What's changed over the last year is how they fulfill that mission in a pandemic.
And so we had to introduce entirely new ways of providing food to our communities.
For example, the backup boxes. Within weeks of the pandemic starting, the food bank set up a second warehouse to pack big boxes of food to feed a family of 4 for a week. And they continue to give out those boxes today. And the food bank's kitchen, FoodWorks, they switched from hot meals to grab-and-go meals, and they've given out more than 500,000 of them so far. For the food bank, this last year has been figuring out how to distribute record amounts of food in an efficient and accessible way while filling in the gaps.
So we've increased the number of partners we work with, and we've increased the number of events we do in certain communities in an effort to make sure that there's a constant flow of food into those communities, regardless of whether the partner is there or not.
The food bank's CEO, Carmen Del Guecho, believes they'll be operating at these heightened levels for a while, even with the vaccine now available. But he's hopeful that eventually they can shift their focus back to pre-pandemic goals like ending food insecurity in Maryland.
But near term, it's going to be crisis management response. But I'm hopeful that as we proceed through 21, that we'll be able to shift that focus a little more towards long-term solutions. To be an organization that not only distributes nutritious food, but begins to find ways to solve food insecurity in our communities.
And the Maryland Food Bank expects to spend around $28 million this year to buy food. So monetary donations continue to be the best way to support them. So if you'd like to help out and make a monetary donation, we have links on our website right now at WMAR2news.com. In Halethorpe, I'm Megan Knight, WMAR 2 News.